Chapter 2. Valerian's Skull. After leaving the room, Rhaegar got rid of the attendants who followed him and walked down the stairs alone. Looks like he's a little anxious. Hitting the Queen's son would make anyone anxious, right? Of course, he is not afraid. Just as he was blowing out the candles, he heard a voice. The Explorer system has been loaded successfully. Please look for the lost treasure. Liga thought it was the sequelae of a nightmare. However, when I opened my eyes, not only ushered in Aegon's cream attack, there is also a strange panel. Rager Targaryen Talent, Dreamer Gold Page, Ancient Valyrian Dragon King 5%. Skills, Literature Elementary, History Elementary Relics. None yet. Comment. A frail human cub will definitely die before the age of 10. It is a pity that it has a precious talent. A simple, clean panel describing Rhaegar's personal situation. Rager was shocked. Rager was confused. Rager accepted. In the short time that Alicent wiped the cream, he cleared his mind and was delighted with the emergence of the system. In the 3 years of nightmares, he dreamed a lot, including fragments of another unknown continent, green-skinned snakes, steel dragons, concrete high-rises. I have some impressions about the word system. It seems to be a tool to help useless people counterattack, which is very suitable for him, a pitiful, weak and helpless human cub. While he was happy, he couldn't help but give a reward to his dear brother Aegon. Hope he will like it. Explorers, relics, with the systematic reminder. We should be looking for some ancient and valuable items. Riga analyzed rationally, and his young face was surprisingly serious. Before walking out of the room, he had already thought of something ancient and valuable. Passing by the crowded hall of the Red Fort, Rager came to an empty hall where a statue of the Virgin was placed. In the center of the main hall, there is a circular platform built with stones. There is a very huge dragon skull placed on it. This is the skull of Balerion, Aegon the Conqueror's dragon, known as the Black Death. Balerion is a legendary dragon. The Targaryen family moved out of ancient Valyria and escorted them all the way with the fleet. And when Aegon the Conqueror came of age, he helped him conquer the 7 kingdoms of West. After the death of Aegon the Conqueror, he was tamed by his descendants and continued to contribute. Until Balerion was over 200 years old, he was tamed by Rhaegar's father, Viserys. This giant dragon that swept across the continent of Westeros carried the young Viserys, soaring over King's Landing 3 times, appeared in front of the public for the last time. Balerion died soon after. At that time, he was over 200 years old, which was the upper limit of the dragon's lifespan, and he died of old age naturally. In order to commemorate this outstanding dragon, the Targaryen family placed its skull in the main hall of the Red Keep, where it was worshipped by future generations. Rhaegar looked at the huge dragon skull in front of him and couldn't think of anything older or more valuable than it. Balerion, thank you for your service to House Targaryen. Please help me once too. Rhaegar looked expectantly and prayed silently in front of the altar, stepping on a round stool. Rhaegar climbed up to the altar, which was more than 1 meter high. He touched the ferocious interlaced dragon teeth on the skull. Each one was taller and thicker than him. Rhaegar carefully walked into the skull from the unobstructed back, stroking the pale bones with a pair of small hands. This exploration mission has begun, and the target is the Black Death, Balerion's skull. The system prompt sounded suddenly, startling Rhaegar, and he looked around guiltily. Children will be punished if they crawl and jump around. He is also a child, and is afraid that his secret will be discovered. Fortunately, few people come to the main hall. Rhaegar breathed a sigh of relief, and a prompt panel appeared in front of his eyes. Balerions, skull exploration progress, 0.2%. What's the meaning? Liga retracted his hand, and the panel changed. Balerions skull exploration progress, 0.2%. Paused. Does exploring the relics require physical contact? Rhaegar was suddenly enlightened and touched his skull again. Sure enough, the exploration progress continued to increase. That's it. All that's left is to wait patiently. Rager sat down and rested on his skull, trying to touch it with his face and feet from time to time. His body was too weak, and he was out of breath after walking a few steps. I was able to persist until I explored Balerian's skull today, thanks to the adrenaline in my excitement. At dusk, the sun gradually sets. A voice sounded, waking up Rager, who was sleeping. "This exploration is over. Please pick up the lost treasures." Rager was sleepy-eyed, and the system panel appeared. Balerian's skull exploration progress. 100% it's finished. What's the treasure? Rager immediately became energetic. Looking at the panel, there are only 2 lines of text on it. Rager tilted his head in confusion, recalling the word pickup in the prompt tone just now. Stand up and look around. A red halo the size of a watermelon floated on the closed dragon's teeth of the dragon's skull. Rager stepped forward out of curiosity, stretched out his hand and touched it slowly. As if he had poked a bubble, the red halo exploded and turned into a small group of red light dots, which entered his hand like fireworks. The relic was picked up successfully. Checking the detection was successful, and it was determined to be a legendary relic. The dragon's legacy. Legendary level. I seem to have made a lot of money, Rager murmured softly, and a dragon scale named Dragon Relic appeared in his mind. With a thought in his mind, dragon scales appeared in his hand. This dragon scale is completely black and covered with scars, and is only as big as an adult's hand. How to use a piece of dragon scale. When Rager flipped through the dragon scales, the font on the system panel changed. Blood and fire come from the same source. If you want the dragon's legacy, you must be a true dragon. Blood and fire come from the same source. Rager had an idea. As we all know, dragon is synonymous with fire. Then, the method of activation should be blood. It must also be the blood of a true dragon. Rager smiled. He is not a dragon, but he is a pure Targaryen. Hold the dragon scale with one hand, and put the other hand close to the sharp edge of the dragon scale. Clenched his teeth and said, "Fight." There was a stabbing sound. The dragon scales cut through the thumb, and a trace of blood flowed. The dragon scales were stained with blood and glowed red. Congratulations. Dragon's legacy has been activated, and you have obtained ... double quotes. Blood and fire come from the same source level. Legend red. Function: fire resistance plus 50% evaluation. True dragons are not afraid of fire, and the same goes for Targaryens. The dragon's scales shattered and turned into dust and flew away in the wind. Without waiting for Riga's reaction, a blush appeared on his pale face, and his skin gradually became hot. This feeling is not unpleasant. It's a bit like curling up in bed with a warm stove next to you in winter. The body is filled with warmth. The feeling goes as quickly as it comes. The burning sensation disappeared. Rhaegar's skin became smoother, and his originally pale face also improved. At least, get rid of the weak appearance of sudden death at any time. A state of recovery from a serious illness. Increased fire resistance. What is this ability? Rager walked to the edge of the altar, where candles were densely packed in a circle. Lighting a candle, Rager placed his hand on the flame. It's better to try than just think about it. The first thing you feel when your hand comes into contact with fire is warmth. As time goes by, the skin is exposed to more and more heat and begins to feel burning. A drop of wax oil fell on his hand. Rager frowned slightly and felt a little pain. Blow out the candles. Rager already knows the role of fire resistance. Being burned by fire still hurts, but the damage is very limited. Asterisk, end of this chapter.